Hi there, welcome back to Abus and Beyond, and I've come across again to Campervan Culture. I've come to see Jed in the hope that he will help me fit this rib rock and roll bed. So there's a little bit of work to go underneath the actual van, so yeah, it's really not a one-person job, and Lizzie, being 32 weeks pregnant now, is not going to get underneath the van and help me. So yeah, I've come to Campervan Culture just north of Brighton. Let's see how we get on, shall we? So we've lifted the van up on some blocks just so we can get a bit more access underneath. But it's got 6 different fixings on the rib bed, which I'll show you in a second. The middle 2 we can't get to because there's a chassis member in the way. So again, copying Urban Arc Overland's video, I've actually had a bracket made up. This is out of 5mm stainless steel, nice and beefy. And basically what that's going to do is that's going to go underneath the floor of the crafter and create a brace for the rearmost fixings. So that'll be lovely and strong. And it also, that cutout there, it actually goes around the chassis member that would actually get in the way of the rear 2 middle fixings. So it's going to be absolutely beastie, and there's no way that seat is going anywhere.
Oh.
Smooth.
Right, to get our reference of where we're gonna drill from the top and where all the outriggers and cross members are underneath, I'm using a bit of our packing tape. So if you look underneath, you can see that from the far end there, running through over the petrol tank, this is where one of the cross members is. So it just happens that this little rubber bung here is in line with it. So I've put a piece of tape on the top here. So that side is centre to the cross member, and I know that this side now is just clears the cross member. So that's the centre of the cross member. The cross member's that thick. So what I've done, I've put the tape there. We're going to remove this bit of Cordex that's been put down for protection, and if we run a piece of tape right the way through, we know that this side of the tape has cleared that cross member, and then we can start measuring from there backwards to the fitting points in the chair, and then at least we know roughly, you know, it's not going to be millimetre perfect, but it's going to be in a position where we're not going to be drilling through and hitting a cross member.
I think that's one of the hardest things, is just trying to get a reference point from underneath to the top.
Yeah.
It's like, there seems to be hardly anything that's the same. As you can see as well, I've carpeted that lower portion of the wall just because it would be so much easier than taking that back out again once it's bolted in. So I've put a vapor barrier up, battened it, and then put a bit of plyboard and then carpeted around the plyboard.
So any side, that side is clear of that cross member. We use that cross member now when we measure back, then we can work out where our holes are going.
So this is the side that the seat is going to go. We've already spoken about like the chassis members that you can see. So we've got sort of across here, across that way. The exhaust is in the way, so we're actually just going to whip that off. The back portion is just bolted there, you can see. So we're just going to undo those bolts. For ease, we're going to undo the bolts for the actual bracket. There we go, over there. Just take them off. Drop the exhaust down, and then also drop the heat shield down, and then the bracket will fit behind. This is the chassis member that is in the way, so we're going to go around that with the bracket. The heat shield should just fit back on over the top of it as well once it's all bolted through. So let's take that off.
When I was broke like legs on dining room tables. Once a while I eat but still unstable. Live with no friends or bros or next door neighbors that I could call up on and ask no favors. So when I get on, it's a mountain of stunting I gotta do. Every point like credit I gotta prove. Been appointed as head of the state, found out I'm a jewel. I was pushing as long as it takes till I got a groove. Can't abandon how the home plate raised you. Keep it cool, cadet, it ain't that major. Feel like Michael Scott, I love this paper so much I can't delay. I got things to say, cause once you made a way, they can't that phase you. You gotta make a way, they can't that aphasia. I swear.
Jed was just saying he likes the fact that when we're working on a new vehicle, all the bolts just undo quite nicely.
Shield. Roast a nice turkey on that. I'll mark out for the second outrigger, I think.
Yep.
Just so we know where that is.
I'm in here healing my enemy. My phone been on D&D up, it's not in reaching me. My life been teaching me, and you know I come from where them trenches be. I get income and bits on my split. Some what they want, the split. Some got blue, blow smoke screen, got green thumb. My come get with me. I'm laid up with a pretty thing, checking the tip on me. She get the bills with me.
So I've opened up the bed. Oh, obviously it's closed again now, but I opened up the bed and I wanted the front portion of the bed to be right up against that corner there, which it is. The beauty of this is you can slide it forwards and out as well, so but that's exactly where we want it. It's just not the easiest to get a pen into this little fixing in here to mark it, but we can just get the front ones marked and then measure in relation to that. So this probably shows it a bit better. You can see where Jed has marked out the outriggers. We've marked these front three, and it's the middle one. We've got the same on the back. It's the middle one that I was a bit worried about not being able to actually get that fixing in, which is why I had that big chassis plate made up, bracing plate out of 5mm steel, so it's stainless steel as well, so it should be yeah, nice and secure. We'll just flip the seat on its back just to make it much easier to actually get the measurements.
Yeah, that's fine.
Middle one fits, does it?
Yeah, it just goes this side of this chassis. And then the
Perfect.
other one will be there, so we're good.
Nice. That's good. That's brilliant.
Do you know what? Look how lucky we are. Each one has fallen right on a bloody... Even this one here. It couldn't have been any better.
That is bloody lucky.
And if it's tight up against it, it'll squish all the underseal against it as well. I'll spray it with a bit of paint before we...
Yeah. So I've had to nip and get some more drill bits because the steel of that bracket was just so brutal. So I've got some cobalt bits, 12mm DeWalt Extreme bit, and then some 13mm bits as well, just to open up the hole a little bit bigger, so you'd have to be absolutely perfect with your alignment. These holes in the bracket were an absolute nightmare to drill. Using a pillar drill and multiple drill bits, we eventually got through it, but wow, that is tough going. You need to check out Jed's channel. You need to check out Campervan Culture because they're currently in the process of doing up his T25 Synchro, and it's, yeah, what a journey it is. There's all sorts that they're doing. Repainting, you know, it's had tons of welding done. It's really interesting, and he's doing it all up, but he doesn't want it to look brand spanking new because he likes the character that it had before and he wants to retain that character. So yeah, it's a real sort of sympathetic restoration, which is great, but it is a big job. Properly big job. I wouldn't know where to start. But yeah, check out those videos. Right, well there we have it. It is fitted, and apart from drilling the holes through the stainless steel, it was a pretty quick job actually. Obviously with the help of Jed, it would have been a lot longer if it had been me, but yeah. So there we have it. This is a rib, 86cm wide seat. So it's fine enough for 2 people to sit side by side. Right, and then to turn it into a bed, you've got a little lever on the side here. That bit lifts up, down it goes, and then you've got a bar at the bottom here. Let's just move that out of the way. A bar at the bottom there, so that drops down, and then finally another lever on the side here to drop that bit down. And there you have it. You have a nice, I would say it's not really a double. It's more of a decent sized single, but it's plenty big enough. It's long enough for me. Obviously, if we've spun that seat round as well, then we've got even more space. You can also sit with it like so you can sort of recline in the evening and just chill out. And we also wanted it right up against the wall here, so you can almost sort of use it as a bit of a lounging area with it made up into a bed. It's like a sofa, which is spot on really. It's Isofix, and also it slides as well. So if you pull that lever up, you can bring it out, and then also, let me just put this back up, you can also slide it forwards and backwards as well with this lever here. So yeah, you can get it in loads of different places, but it's absolutely perfect. So huge thank you to Jed at Campervan Culture for helping me fit this, because I would not have been able to do it on my own. And make sure you check out Campervan Culture's YouTube channel as well, which is linked in the description below. They do absolutely epic trips. They go all over the place. They've been to Morocco, Arctic Circle, you name it, they've been there. So yeah, check out Campervan Culture's videos in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you in the next video. Cheers.